Welcome back to another video, and in today's video, we're ranking every single vegetable. I know we did it with the fruits yesterday, you seemed to like that video, so we are back now with the vegetables. Again, if you guys didn't see the video yesterday, what I was basically saying is because the NFL and the NBA, the two content leagues that I make are on off season, I'm gonna be doing some more random different tier lists. So we did the fruit yesterday, you guys seemed to like it, that did pretty well. Now we are back with the vegetables. Pretty much similar categories from S, A, B, C, D, F, and I've never had. Same thing as yesterday. They're all marked, all the vegetables. I'm going to be ranking them based on if I like them or not. Drop your guys' opinions down below. If you agree or disagree with any of my takes, let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new because we are on the road to 1K. My goodness, the support on my channel has been amazing. It's been what a journey to watch my channel really develop into a more popular channel, and it's been really fun to watch. So if you want to join the journey, please sure to subscribe and also leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the video. Let's get straight into it. So the first vegetable we are going to be rating is the artichoke. I'm going to be putting the artichoke into C tier. It's not like that insane. Like the only thing I can remember having an artichoke with is like artichoke dip, but artichoke, it's fine. It's just not my favorite. It's quite bland. It's quite basic, but it's quite like it's just quite the average vegetable, and that's why it's going to be put into C tier. Next up, we have the arugula. I'm not a big fan of arugula. I'm putting this in D tier. I much prefer like a kale or like a lettuce than an arugula. It's not my favorite. Is it bad? No, and that's why it's not F tier. I don't really have an instance where I'm ever like, I need some arugula right now, especially because I'm not a big fan of vegetables, but I will be giving my honest takes. Next up, we have the asparagus. I'm putting the asparagus in B tier. Asparagus is quite good, especially if it's cooked. If it's not cooked, then don't have it, but if it is cooked, it is pretty solid. I do have it quite a bit. Thing is, it's quite inconsistent. I think I like the thicker ones better than the thinner ones. The thinner ones are kind of crusty sometimes. It's not as good. So you can kind of get an inconsistent asparagus or a great asparagus, depends on what kind of one you get. But overall, asparagus is pretty solid always, B tier. Next up, we have the avocado. So honestly, I rated the avocado in my fruit tier list yesterday, and I don't know why it's in both tier lists, but I guess I can just rank both them. I'm pretty sure I gave avocado C tier. I'm pretty sure I gave it a high C tier, and I'll be ranking these, by the way, for each individual tier. I'll rank them like avocado over artichoke. The reason why I'm putting avocado in C tier is because I do like guacamole, and I do like avocado with other things. I just don't like avocado by itself. It tastes very mushy. The flavor is not my favorite, but if it's mixed with other things, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna give it C tier. Next up, we have the beets. Horrible F tier. I've really never had an instance where I've wanted a beet. I've had it a few times when it's like we're having a dinner with steak or something like that. It's not good. F tier. It's horrible. Not much to talk about there. It has a horrible tasting thing. I don't know how people like beets unless you are a grandpa or grandma. Next up, we have the bell pepper. I'm putting the bell pepper. It's close to S tier. And you know what? Because of the versatility of it with the red, the green, and the yellow, I'm going to put this in S tier. It's quite good. Again, it kind of tastes like, it's one of the only vegetables that actually kind of tastes like a fruit. I know it's kind of weird to say that it tastes like a fruit, but it kind of does actually. It's quite good. I don't really recognize quite a difference from the red, the green, and the yellow. I think I have the green the least. I probably would rank red and yellow the highest. And they're both super, super good. It's also a super juicy. It's like a fruit, but it's a vegetable. Because like it has like that flavor and that juice of a fruit. So S tier. Next up, we have the broccoli. Again, a lot of people don't like these as a kid, and I didn't like these as a kid. But then the more and more I got older, the more and more I appreciate the broccoli. I'm going to put the broccoli in A tier. Now, what I will say is raw broccoli is horrible. Raw broccoli is not good, but cooked broccoli, when it's sauteed, is one of the best tasting things. It really is an actual really good food, and it's super underrated, especially when it's like sauteed with different sauces in it as well. Super good. I always have it first on my plate if it's roasted because it's a great appetizer to all like the steak or the potatoes or whatever else you're gonna have. So A tier for broccoli if it's cooked right, and if it's cooked. If it's raw, it's horrible. Next up, we have the Brussels sprouts. You saw from my thumbnail, Brussels sprouts stink. It's gonna go in F tier. Might be the worst tasting thing I've ever had. Not even talking about vegetables, I've ever had. It tastes horrible. I don't know how people like this fruit, not this fruit, this vegetable, without wanting to die. It does not taste good at all. I guess if you get it freshly, and I know it's my opinion, it's just not a good tasting vegetable. Next up, we have the butternut squash. I don't think I've really ever had this. I know I actually have, and I didn't like it. I'll put it in bottom of D tier because I don't really remember the instance of me having it, so that means I'm kind of indifferent to it. But I won't put it in C tier because at C tier, at least I know what I'm talking about. D tier, I don't know. I don't care about the butternut squash. Next up, we have the cabbage. I think, again, between lettuce and cabbage, I'm always going lettuce. Cabbage, it's solid. It's probably just a C tier, kind of similar to artichoke. It's bland. It's basic. It's not really going to do anything to the flavor around it, but I guess if it's cooked with other things or it's made with other things, then it's decent. Next up, we have the carrot. I'm putting the carrot into. It's between like D to B in that range. I'm gonna give it C tier ahead of these two, not ahead of avocado. I don't like carrots that much, especially if it's like a raw carrot. If carrots cooked with everything, if it's a cooked carrot, it's not as bad. But a raw carrot, it's super chewy, super inconsistent. Sometimes you'll get like an insanely chewy part, and honestly, the taste isn't even that good. I think carrot juice isn't that good. I think it's gonna go into C tier. Next up, we have the cauliflower. This is actually a pretty underrated vegetable. It's not that good. I'm gonna give it C tier. I'm having a lot of C tiers. But I think it's going to go in the top of C tier. I actually don't mind the cauliflower. It's decent. It's nothing special, but it's a solid, solid vegetable. Next up, the celery, D tier. It's close to F, but I don't hate it. Like, sometimes I'll have celery. It just, again, it tastes like nothing. I don't have a feeling towards most of these green vegetables because they taste the exact same. Now we have a different new one. We have corn. I'm going to put corn in A tier ahead of broccoli. It's close to S tier. It's super close. I like corn on the cob. I like corn when it's chopped up as well. But also corn it can be different. I like when it's cooked better than when it's raw. I don't really know how to feel about corn. It's decent. The process to make it's a little bit annoying. I don't have it enough where I can put it into S tier, but I think corn's very, very solid. Next up, we have the cucumber. I know a lot of my family loves the cucumber. I'm not a big cucumber fan, honestly. I think it's very, very overrated. I'm putting this in D tier. I just don't like those little seeds, and the texture of it makes me quite mad. I'll put it at the top of it because I know most of my family does love it, so I'll give respect to them. But in my opinion, it's just not that good. It's just I'm a big texture guy, and the texture around it and in the middle with like the little seeds, I don't like. So D tier for the cucumber. Next up, we have the edamame. I'm putting the edamame into S tier. I really, really do like the edamame. It's quite good when it's cooked as well. It's super, super good. Again, it's kind of convenient. You know, you get those in those little sockets. You take them out. You can kind of like crunch them, take them out, and then you can eat them. They're like peas, but they're a bit funner to eat, I guess. So S tier. I do like them a lot. I have them a lot, so I gotta give them S tier. The eggplant, I never had an eggplant. Yeah, I've never had one, so I can't rate it. Next up, we have the garlic. This is one of the most. Garlic and ginger are quite similar, honestly. I think I rate garlic a little bit higher. Garlic's probably a bottom of C tier one. Ginger's probably a high F tier one. Ginger's not that good. Ginger's quite overrated. It just like ginger ale's mid, and ginger by itself is horrible. So ginger's gonna go into F tier. Next up, we have the jalapenos. It's okay. I don't really handle spicy stuff too well. It's convenient sometimes. I'll put it in B tier because I do probably have it quite more than I actually think I do. But overall, jalapenos are not something I really enjoy having too much. If they're made in the right way, they're decent, but they're also I don't really like spicy food, so B tier. Next up, we have the kale. This is tough. This is not easy. I've had kale a couple times. Fried kale is better than raw kale. I'll put kale in B tier. I've only had it a couple times, but when I've had it and it's fried, it's actually quite good. It has quite a lot of flavor if you can add some other things with it, like lemon, like juice. Tastes really good. B tier for kale. Next up, we have the leek. I don't think I've ever had a leek, unfortunately. So, like I said, I've been talking about this next vegetable a lot. The lettuce. I'm putting the lettuce into a high A tier. If you're gonna have a green on your like sandwich or anything that you want to have lettuce. Lettuce is the best tasting one. Lettuce is also I think the easiest one to use. I think cabbage is a bit weirder. Texture isn't as good. Lettuce, it's soft. It's nice. Again, doesn't add too much. Again, most of these vegetables they don't have a ton of flavor, but they're a good side piece. Next up, we have the mushrooms. I absolutely love mushrooms. Mushrooms are going into S tier, in my opinion. Probably I had an edamame and probably I had a bell peppers. I do love the mushrooms. What I do like about the mushrooms is, again, a raw mushroom is not good. It's like the broccoli. But if you can get a fried mushroom, especially on pizza, I love a combo pizza with mushrooms on it. It's one of the best things I've ever had. mushrooms are great. They're going in S tier. I know some people are gonna get mad because like kids are not gonna like want to have mushrooms because they're not that good. Just have mushrooms and you'll enjoy it. S tier. Next up, we have the okra. I've had this one time because I had to do like a cooking project on this, and I had to make okra soup. And I'm not gonna lie, it was the most indifferent thing I've ever had. I'm putting this in D tier because I don't really remember much out of it. It literally tasted like absolutely nothing, so I'm gonna put it D tier. Next up, you saw from the thumbnail, we got the onion. I'm putting the onion into S tier at the top. Onion is so versatile. The red onion I would put into A tier at the top of it, and we'll go through each one. The reason why I put the regular onion higher, I think it just tastes a little bit better than the red onion. The red onion's not bad. I put the red onion more on like sandwiches, but the onion is so versatile. You can put it on pizza. You can put it on sandwiches. You can put it on pretty much anything. You can saute them. You can grill them. You could eat them raw. I think, honestly, a lot of people don't like onions because they make you cry, whatever. If you actually have an onion, it's one of the best tasting things for a vegetable ever. It tastes really good. Onion's going to go into S tier. Red onion's going to go into A tier because it just tastes a little bit worse. Next up, we have the peas. Like I said, I put edamame in S tier, but it's different. I like edamame a little better because I think it has more flavor. Peas are probably going to go into B tier. Like I'll probably put them ahead of kale and ahead of jalapenos and not quite ahead of asparagus. I like peas. They're decent. They're solid. They're just, again, with most of these green vegetables, is they don't really taste like much, but I do enjoy eating them sometimes. It's a weird craving kind of thing. Next up, we have the potatoes. I'm putting potatoes in general into S tier. I mean, because it's so versatile, it's probably going to go right around here because I think potatoes by itself isn't great, but you can make the baked potato. You can have French fries. You can have a hash brown. There's so much versatility with a potato that you have to put it into S tier because you can use it in so many different recipes. You can use it in so many different ways. It's very, very versatile, and it's quite a good vegetable. It doesn't even really think as it as a vegetable, but it definitely is. So S tier for the potato. Next will be the pumpkin. I don't really eat pumpkin at all. I'm gonna give this I never had because, of course, Halloween, we put out pumpkins a bunch. I've never actually eaten a pumpkin, though, before, in my opinion. I feel like I have, but I don't think I've ever had a pumpkin before. Oh, no, I've definitely had a pumpkin. I would still put a D tier. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin. I feel like the taste is quite baby foodish. Next up, we have the radish. Radish are terrible. Radish are not good. They're gonna go into F tier. Not ahead of. They're probably just ahead of Brussels sprouts, but they're not that good. I think Brussels sprouts again. I think radish is terrible. Similar to beets, I think if you're gonna be having a radish, you should be an 80-year-old, or else you just shouldn't be touching the vegetable because it's not that good. F tier. Next up, we have the scallion. Scallions are decent. They're probably a C tier, maybe like a higher one in this avocado range. Scallions are not bad. Again, similar to like an artichoke or a cabbage or a cauliflower. I'm just quite indifferent to it, but at least I've had some better experiences than like celery to it. Next up, we have the spinach. I'm actually going to put the spinach in B tier, probably a low B, but again, it can be used in multiple different ways. One of the best salad items you can have. It also works well in many different recipes with like steak and stuff like that, and I think it's very, very versatile. But again, it's just not that good. Next up, we have the sweet potato. So, potato, I'm putting S tier. Sweet potato, I'm going to put it in the low A tier, the lowest A tier you can go, because sweet potatoes aren't as good as potatoes, obviously. But sweet potato fries, they either hit or they don't. And that's really the only instance I've really had sweet potatoes, so I can't really rate it too highly because I haven't had a lot of sweet potatoes. But sweet potato fries are either the bomb or they stink. And honestly, most of the time, they're really, really good. So I'm going to give it A tier. Next, we did tomato. I'm not a big tomato fan. I know that's going to stir people off. I would still put it in B tier. I'll give it its respect because I think it's decent. I just don't think it's S or A in my opinion. The best situation to have a tomato would be on your sandwich, which is good. But in my opinion, ketchup is the most overrated condiment. It's not that good. It tastes terrible. So I don't really like ketchup. Why would I like tomato? I do like tomato though on sandwiches, so I'll give it B tier. Next up, we have the turnip. It's the most indifferent thing ever. I don't care about it. D tier. It's not good. I don't know if I've ever had a situation where I'm like, I want a turnip right now. So D tier. It's mid. It's below mid. It's terrible. And finally, last but not least, we have the zucchini. I think it's a little bit better than cucumber. I do like zucchini bread, so I'll give it B tier. I'll give it ahead of tomato in kind of this range with the jalapeno. It's not bad. It's solid. I do like zucchini bread. I like things that is made with zucchini. I just don't like zucchini by itself. And that's me ranking every single vegetable. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel because the growth's been amazing. You want to be on that road to 1K. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!